Five, four, three, two, one, guys. I believe we're live. First of all, I want to apologize for being a bit late. I do try and start my live streams exactly on time. I try and be punctual, but I'm using like an old SD card. I didn't even realize I had it, so I kind of copied a lot of stuff. When I did an update, it took a little bit of time. So what we're looking at today is we are looking at the awesome work of Jotego. Let me spam that button because that's one thing I like about Capcom stuff, the credits sound. Not just Capcom stuff, but a whole bunch of other cores as well. So let's go with Captain Commando. And guys, I really like this game. I have to say, when it gets further into the game, it gets a little bit boring, but you do get that with beat 'em ups. Okay, I wanted to pick Baby Commando, but I took too long doing it. Now, I'm really sorry if you hear my stick. I want to play stuff on an arcade stick because, you know, a lot of Jotego's games are arcade games, and why not play on an arcade stick? And guys, this is just absolutely superb. I love this game. Really like it. Great style, and it has a great soundtrack. I've used this soundtrack in particular for like weekly news videos. For this particular stage, it's just really good, man. I can almost karaoke to it. I think it's just so great. So Jotego is just absolutely awesome. Yo, Anime Otaku, how you doing, man? What's up, my G? And yeah, Jotego, one of the best developers on the scene. He's definitely the reason I got into MiSTerFPGA gaming, because when I saw the excellent CPS2 core, I was like, wow, I don't need to buy a CPS2 board. I don't need to buy the hardware. I could just buy a MiSTer, and I got so much more out of the MiSTer. But that's why, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, I am a very big Jotego fanboy. You know, I really do like his work, and you know, I've spoken to Jotego many times. He's a really nice guy as well. And it really does help when, you know, when one of your heroes, a developer that you like so much, you're really a big fan of their work, and you know, you get to speak to them and you find out that they're very down to earth. They're just good people, as we like to say in the street in the UK. You know, they are good people. So yeah. So amazing stuff. If you haven't tried Captain Commando, play it. There's a whole bunch of beat 'em ups on CPS1. Another one I think we should have a look at. Let's have a look. And guys, I'm happy to look at any Jotego cores that you guys may want to see. One that I like a lot, and this is so Final Fight. Like, a lot of brawlers came out. Let me run Final Fight, because Final Fight was something really special. Okay, who we got in here? We got we got Sonos Leo. Good evening to you as well, buddy. It is evening over here, 7:39 p.m. We got Matt H. Yo, Matt, how you doing? Good evening. Time to see some new cores and games. I need to update my MiSTer Analog Pocket. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much new stuff we'll have here. I have got other streams planned. In fact, I won't reveal it now. I'm speaking to another developer regarding Analog Pocket, and I may be getting some work in progress calls, and I want to do like streams that I want to call like developer showcases. So, you know, we highlight a particular developer, in this case Jotego. We'll go through other prominent developers within the MiSTerFPGA and the Analog Pocket. We'll pick one platform to do a live stream on. So we're kick-starting with Jotego. We'll move on to others. Yo, SNK Kev, my bro, how you doing? I love that Wagwan Brav. My homie, you're my homie, man. You're a good guy, man. Guys, I hope everyone's having like a good weekend. Like, I'm back on a Monday to Friday week, so you know, I get that Friday feeling, man, and I want to laugh like that Mad Gear guy there. So yeah, I get that Friday feeling, and yeah, man, it's good. So I've got exactly an hour and 20 minutes to go, and after that it's hard cut off, or otherwise my wife will kill me. So I have to go to bed early-ish as well, by 10. I need to be up at 6 a.m. I need to go shopping with my boys because they want fresh bakery. It's become a routine now. So guys, Final Fight. Now, where were you first time you saw this? I remember seeing this. Now, I was never a guy that liked cinema. I've never really liked cinema. I prefer watching movies in the comfort of my own house. Now, I remember Holloway Roads, North London, there was a cinema there called Odeon, and when I saw this there, I was gobsmacked. You know, we had stuff like Double Dragon before, we had other brawlers, Double Dragon, I think Crime Fighters. I mean, they were good, we loved them, but this just blew us away. The big sprites, the characters. Now, Hagar with the flying power driver. I mean, wow, that was just... Let's give it a quick go. I know Grego's done a really good job on this as well, where he's kind of brought this over to CPS2. So it's like this game running on CPS2. We can play like 3 characters all together. He's done a really good job of that as well. So, should really adjust my... So, Yeah, so let's do the flying power driver. Superb. So I remember just seeing this in the arcade and being blown away. And again, you know, I have a strong bias towards arcade games, and it's seeing stuff like this, you know, on the MiSTer, like lag free. It's just so responsive. I'm using the 8-bit though RF stick because it's very, very convenient to use. I've actually got a stick that's being made. It's currently being shipped over from Pixel Memories from Australia, so I'm waiting for that to come, and that's a custom stick. I'll show you guys that on the channel. It is just such a great stick. It is just such an awesome stick. Oh, I want a soda, man. Nothing like street soda and street meat. Hager likes a bit of street meat. That's what he does. But there's other games as well. Let's I want to try and do a lot of games. We won't play a lot of games like lots and lots, but I'm gonna have to change buttons on them because I haven't used this memory card for a while, and I use so many different controllers and really use arcade sticks. Now this game is really, really good. Hyper Street Fighter 2. Hyper Street Fighter 2 is on CPS2, man. So, oh no, okay, if we're talking hyper fighting, that's CPS1. 15th anniversary hyper fighting, that's CPS2. But what are you seeing? Okay, let's have a look at some of the chat. Again, fantastic game, Willow. Like this in the arcade. I know some people don't like it. I like this a lot. So my Mr. Pie started its way to me. How wicked. Got to be my first Mr. I have 2 analog pockets, but I am waiting for that Mr. Absolutely, man. I've got a couple of analog pockets as well, man. I love the devices. In fact, I started playing like Zelda Oracle Seasons on it last night in bed. I haven't actually played that one. I haven't completed it, and that's something I do want to complete. And I love the Pocket, man. Love the Pocket, love the MiSTer. You're going to have so much fun, Sonus Leo. Like, it just changes the way you play stuff. You almost become spoiled, especially when it comes to like fighters and shmups, man. It's wicked. So let me just go through some of that. Daniel, how you doing, man? Holiday in Spain with my dad and mum and sister. You know what? Rocket family is awesome, man. That's really awesome that you're on a family holiday. Unbelievable X Arcade, okay. Do we know when First Strike will be on MiSTer? Okay, so when it comes to First Strike, buddy, we honestly don't know. You know, I always say if anyone can, Jotego can. He's one of the developers that can make things happen. Now, you always get talk where stuff is impossible. People say, oh no, this is impossible. But people said the Saturn core, PlayStation, N64 was impossible. It's possible. We've got it now. So who knows? Who knows if CPS3 will come? I want it to come. That's the cherry on top. That's the icing on the cake. As I always say, I have a strong bias towards arcade games. If that does come over and Jotego does manage to get it over, then superb. It will be great. You know, if it doesn't and it comes onto a future FPGA console, such as like the Replay 2, which is making very, very good progress. But I really like the guys because they don't really like to. They don't like to cause commotion and make a lot of sound. When they're ready, and you know they'll have something and we can share that. And we've got J-Rose Game Boy mods in the house, guys. Check out J-Rose mods. They are superb. Very, very good stuff. And talking of mods, we've got Alan D in the house from over on my Discord. Very helpful guy, and he actually makes 3D print stuff and sells it once in a while as well. Really, really good stuff. But J-Ro, I really like J-Ro because he likes the Game Boy DMG, and I love the Game Boy DMG. But in here, we're talking arcade. Let me just do the buttons because define Willow buttons. Okay, yeah, I just want these the right way around, you know. Everything else is kind of all right. So let's go here. And is the keyboard on? Sorry, just checking my keyboard that I plugged in. Okay, it's not connected. So, okay, so core credits, we'll just make that a button over here. God. Sorry, guys. I need to connect in my keyboard, which I never bothered. Okay. Okay, right, left, down, up. Sorry, guys, I know this is the boring part. I just wanted to get the kind of buttons right. Okay, if I have my keyboard, then I can skip the buttons. Let's just save that for now. I've got core credits on there. I hate pressing that in the middle of a game and they kind of pop up. But let's play Willow. This was a really good game. I used to like watching this in the arcade. It came out and I was very, very young. So I really liked I just love how this looks. Just the little dwarfs dive, just the art direction, everything about this game was just bliss, man. So really like the charging attacks as well. I've actually made like a PCN intro with Willow on this. Not one of the best ones, but I like it on there. Again, soundtrack for this is just superb. Really like his dive as well. Very nice. But again, you know, why I really like Jotego's work, man. And that was a cheap shot, you know, death from above. And we got an old guy, you know, old guy, he wants to sell us stuff. That's what he wants to do. You know, in the middle of this stuff, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to exploit you because this is capitalism. This is what we're going to do. We're just going to sell you stuff. I've got gold. I've got no gold for anything. To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention on picking up the gold. I don't even want the information. Okay, magic bracelet, we'll go for that because that's all we can afford. If you haven't tried out Willow, it's well worth trying out. Now, CPS1 is one of the big systems. I mean, I would have actually got a MiSTer for CPS1, but CPS2 was fantastic because Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo is still, it's a very competitive game that we can still play in the arcade. And you know, there's a lot of competition. When I go into the arcade, there's still people playing it. So yeah, that was why I initially got it. So superb. Right, okay, let's run with something else. If you want to see stuff, guys, do let me know. Whoops, what am I doing? Okay, let's just go here. And let's go core. Another really good game that was very popular in the arcades was Strider. Okay, here we go, Strider. Very good. I just want to go and I want to make sure my keyboard is plugged in. I don't know which one. I've got so many MiSTers here on my desk. I don't know where I've plugged it. Have I plugged it into this one? Trying to see if this is the Logitech one. Sorry guys, just enjoy that intro just a second while I search up my MiSTers trying to find. I really hope I haven't lost the dongle because that would be super annoying. No, it's got to be plugged into this one surely. Oh wow, okay. I've actually yeah, I've lost the dongle. Where the heck is it? Oh, okay, bloody hell. I'll put it at the back of the MiSTer. The dual RAM MiSTer add-ons one. Right, okay, cool. Let me plug this in. So if I could do controls, I can skip some stuff. Apologies, guys, for that. So this here is Strider. I think we've only looked at CPS1 so far. Let me have a look at chat because I absolutely love reading chat while this stuff runs out. Oh, Animotoku, pixel memory sticks are here another. They are, man. Like, I don't need another stick. I've got too many sticks. But wow, guys, like I had to get it when I saw the custom stuff he done, and the design I've got goes. I'll tell you what, it goes with the theme of the intros I have, where my logo's been attacked. And I'll share it to you guys. You guys will love it. He's done a super duper job on it, man. Dr. Johnny Bananas, right in the house. How you doing, Dr. Johnny Bananas? I have to say, single-handedly, that is one of the best names I have ever heard. Arguably the best name on YouTube. So this, and what we got attack, jump, start, coin. Okay, and hopefully yeah, we can skip that now. My keyboard is connected. And just save that. Oh wow, okay. Yo, SNK has been a member for 9 months. Congratulations, man. Thank you for your continued support. It is as I like to say, super duper appreciated. Now this game, pure bliss. Just seeing this at the beginning and thinking like, wow, just absolutely amazing. And to be honest, I could do this whole stream just looking at CPS1, but we're going to look at other stuff as well. We'll move away from that. So, you know, if you're in the arcades, those, you know, different type of arcades are always dark places. They weren't very bright. And in those dark places, and you had those CRT screens, you know, attached to the arcade machines, and they just look superb. Now, I know I'm not capturing that vibe here because we haven't got screen filters and stuff on, but there's a reason I haven't got screen filters on, because they kind of look bad with YouTube's compression. But again, like seeing this game, seeing his attack, you know, the way the sword looks, the power-ups that you got, look, that little robot that runs around, you get an eagle later on. This was just superb. I remember the first boss being like very easy. So we'll not avoid those. And some of the enemies just look really funny. So you want these to come up here before you destroy them. And here we go. I've got like 2 robots floating about now. And I think there's a bit where you kind of run down here and you can. So there's a guy, and I think I just need to hide underneath the platform from what I remember. Okay, that's it. And here we go. Fire. Okay. Let's have a look at some other classic stuff, because Jotego's done some. Again, I'm very biased towards Capcom as well. So let's go for some Sega stuff. But again, Strider, fantastic game if you haven't played it. And these are public cores. Everything we looked at so far is a public core, so you can grab those. Another arcade classic, and I've got it on the thumbnail, is Shinobi, and Shinobi is just wicked, absolutely wicked. What a game. A big shout out to my wife who watches my channel sometimes, even though I encourage her not to in case I say anything inappropriate, just for giving me this time to do it. You know, I have got responsibilities, but I was like, I really want to do a stream when I come home. I want to feel like the weekend has begun. And she was like, no problem, you have till 9 o'clock, if not you are dead. And she means I get banging soundtrack. Shinobi. Right, where were you guys when Shinobi was out? This has got a decent track though, so I can read some of the chat. Oh, don't forget to press the like button. Thanks, SNK. I was so busy looking at the big kind of banner thing there. I'm considering buying a retro Fighting 64 controller. Yeah, you know, the 8-bit Dole controller Sonus looks really, really nice. I have to say, it looks superb. I'm actually really happy with the Nintendo Switch Online controller. I think that's a fantastic controller. Now, I feel latency with Bluetooth controllers in 2D games. On Nintendo 64, honestly, I really don't feel it. At least not enough to think, oh, I can't play this. So I like that controller, but I know some people say they feel a lot of latency with that controller, but I like that controller. It feels very close to an original N64 controller. I mean, I'm lazy. MiSTer Add-ons, who's the sponsor of the Saturday News video, he's really awesome. There's a lot of stuff that he gave me. I never asked for it. It was just from the kindness of his own heart. And he gave me like lots of snack stuff and lots of reflex adapt stuff, so I can actually connect an original N64 controller to run the core. But I feel like the NSO Online controller does a good job, and I do get a nostalgia kick holding that controller. I know it's wireless. Wireless is convenient. Like my MiSTer that I'm using now is about 7 foot up in the air. It's you know, because I'm limited to space in the bedroom, I've got a couple of shelves above my monitor. Actually, I'll do a community post one day. I'm just really embarrassed with how messy it looks, so I tend not to show it. So guys, Shinobi, like if you, well, 1987 when it was released, but this was popular in the arcades even in the early 90s, and if you were around, like most people played this, you know, the bonus stage meant everything. If you could do the bonus stage, you got yourself an extra life. Now, I have to say the bonus stage in Shinobi was easier than the bonus stage in Shadow Dancer. But again, just the work that Jotego does. And again, why I'm such a big fan. The games I personally played in the arcade, the games that there was a choice between food and games, and we used to play games, and what we used to do is we used to go around to a certain friend's house whose parents were okay with us just raiding the fridge and eating all the sandwiches, you know, so whatever they had in the fridge, whether it was cheese, ham, I don't know, chicken, turkey slices, whatever was in there, along with cheese, either cream cheese or like normal cheese, and we would eat that and we would go to the arcade. So, you know, we didn't have to buy food outside. We used to spend our lunch money on it. In fact, like we some kids, I was one of those kids that was one of those poor kids. So used to get like a free school meals. So every day you used to get a voucher that you used to go and trade in. So you could actually sell that voucher to other kids that would just get a meal cheaper, that were actually paying for it. So we used to trade that as currency. Would that be called contraband? If it's in a school, I'm not sure. So we're not going to play Shinobi. We're going to move on. Also, I've got to give a shout out. I always say it, whenever I play Shinobi, there's a version on the Switch, the Sega Ages one. It's a really, really good version. And if you ever want to complete it, like using Rewind, which is cheating, but if you want to complete it, you can. It's also got a different mode where your ninja's got white clothes on, and when he takes a hit, he goes to whatever color that is, red. Oh, sorry, I'm colorblind. But it's very, very good. Nathan Atrill in the house, man. How are you doing, man? Always good to have you around, man. I hope progress on your game is going good. Looking forward to seeing like the complete version of it when it happens. So let's go arcade. So what we will do, let's go all the way up to the top, and if we go down to A, and I'm really hoping I know every single Jotego core, which, okay, so this one here, this is a JT core from what I remember as well. I remember all the 19.4 whatever are Jotego cores. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of this game, but I know Jotego, the developer, likes this core. And if you do want access to like early work in progress cores and you want to help with the testing, you can consider supporting Jotego over on Patreon. I've left the link to his Patreon in the description, and it's always flashing up on screen. Like the banners that I have on screen are always promoting either the developer whose stuff that I'm showing, or just generally people in the community that I think are good people. And I think, you know, I can use my platform to, you know, highlight people's hard work. It doesn't matter how big or small they are. You know, my main thing is, you know, if you're good people, you're good mannered, and you're good, and you're nice to people in the community, then I'm quite happy to kind of push you, man. I'm quite happy to plug you. Sorry, push you. That kind of sounded wrong. Sorry, Chris Millen just wanted to say hi as well. I know you've left some comments down there. So could I have a Tribute V2 or Retrobit? Okay, see, I tried a Retrobit controller, an RF one. RF is the 2.4 gigahertz one. And when I ran the 2.4 gigahertz one, it I don't know, it just felt laggy, and I thought it wasn't charging, and I charged it, and I'm very close to my stuff. There's not a lot of distance, so I returned those. The NSO one's working good for me. I'm a really big fan of 8-bit, though. In fact, I bought the Ultimate USB-C, the revamp of it with the extra, with the L3 and R3 buttons, as well as Hall effect sticks. I still haven't opened it. I wanted to do like a video on there, but I'm very pressed for time. So as it kind of stands at the moment, my focus is the weekly news video and live streams. I really enjoy doing live streams, so they're pretty just straight out there. So let's have a look at another game. Another game came to mind, and it is a Data Reese game by Jotego again, and it is a banging game, man. I love it, absolutely love it. So let's go on here, and can you guess what it is? We're getting closer to it. Have I passed it? No, I haven't. That's Road. Really need to learn my alphabet. This game here, man. And I'll say it again, guys. I know you guys have told me it's drop it. I'll stick by what I say, which is cornbread. Cornbread. This is my ringtone, by the way, guys. Yeah, love this. Love this. It's my ringtone. Absolutely love it. Right, so let me check the buttons again, because... Okay. This RoboCop in general has a brilliant soundtrack, but this game just has a wicked soundtrack. If you haven't played RoboCop, it's a difficult game. I was speaking to a friend of mine, I think Retro Tuner. Big shout out to Retro Tuner, has a great YouTube channel, does a lot of live streams as well. I really enjoy his streams. He said it is possible to 1cc this, but man, is it tough, because RoboCop is quite sluggish moving. The way he moves is quite sluggish. Let me put the volume up, because the bit where he says drop it definitely sounds like cornbread to me. I just got to remember to turn the volume down in the next game, because I have cranked it up quite a bit. So let's give this a game. And this was a game, this is super special to me, because this was like less than a minute walk from my house. There was a chip shop. It only ever had one arcade game in there. There was a lot of space around there, and he had RoboCop in there, and it was very, very cheap to play. So I used to love playing this, man, and it's something where I could go and play. And it was something where I was with my mum sometimes, that she used to give me the 10p to play this. If you get that first hit on the bike, then you can, if you miss that first hit, you will get hit trying to hit it again. Right. Love the soundtrack. Guys, if you haven't seen RoboCop, you need to watch RoboCop. Okay, that was a bad move from me. Again, a fantastic game, and the reason I like MiSTer so much, it just, all these arcade games, now that you can play them on emulation, and for the most part, there's nothing wrong with software emulation. I like it, I use it a lot. I still use like Amber Nick and the Mio Mini handhelds from time to time, but there's just something about playing it on FPGA devices such as the MiSTer and the Analog Pocket. It just, you can feel the snappiness in there, and sometimes there's issues with emulation, but I'm not criticizing emulation, software emulation, sorry. This is all emulation. Software emulation, I absolutely love it. I love it, but since going on the MiSTer, it just, there's a different feel to it. I feel it more in fighting games, as well as shmups. And shmups, you can really, really feel it. So this weapon's no good against Z209. Okay, very, very badly, but look how cool that was. So you saw RoboCop, and now you get to fight Ed 209. This was just superb. Another banging game for its time. Right, let me turn this down, because I'm going to forget otherwise. And let's run into another game. And I've always thought of doing a funny kind of comic or something called RoboCrop, where he's like a vegetarian eating crops or something. But I don't know. I think it probably sounded better in my head. Now, just a bit of variety as well. This big shout out to my buddy Chris, man, who introduced me to this game. So I just remember when he was playing this in the arcade, and he was like, yeah, man, you got to see this game. And I was like, it's a game where you're popping balloons. How the heck am I going to like this? And when I played it, I was like, okay, I get it. This game's superb. And this is Pang, man. Pang is superb. So yeah, so my buddy Chris loved this game, absolutely loved it, and he kind of got me into it. And I have to say, I don't know what you guys think, but I'm not a fan of playing Pang single player. Two player. I like playing it single player. I just found it very, very confusing. I know the colors are different and everything, but there's just too much going on sometimes. And for me, this is a one player game. I don't like Pang two player. If I was ever in the arcade and someone joined in, you know, it was kind of free running. Usually it was etiquette to say, can I join in? Unless it was a fighting game. If it was a fighting game, you know, no one had to ask. You could play, even though some people did ask out of politeness. But something like Pang or like a co-op game, people would usually ask. And yeah, for Pang, it was like always a no. I never liked playing two players on this. I don't know what you guys think. I found it very, very confusing. Okay, so Chris, you know what? My knowledge of arcade games it's okay, but it's only in the bubble where I was and what I played. Obviously, I've played some emulation after. I've learned some stuff since doing the channel. I've looked into the hardware, what the arcade boards are, what the families are. But you know who has really, really good knowledge of arcade hardware, video game esoterica, man. He's a good friend. We speak almost on a daily basis, man. The guy, he's good people, man. Since doing YouTube, like I'm just glad I've got a friend that's into the YouTube stuff as much as I am. I wish if I could put as many videos out as him, but currently with the job I've got, it's a bit difficult when I come home with everything else I need to do to find time. That's why it's kind of gone to the weekly news show and live streams, which is working good for me at the moment, with a odd random video here or there. But you know, I am looking to kind of progress in the work, in the job that I'm doing, getting reduced hours. But I can't do that for 9 months. So I've only been doing this job for like a month and a half. For 9 months, I can go for promotions and stuff. So I just kind of need to bind my time. So hopefully good things will come and I'll stick to them. But yeah, VGE, man, his knowledge of arcade stuff is really, really good. And he collects the hardware. I don't own any arcade hardware. I mean, I've got a CPS-1 or CPS-2 board somewhere. My friend's supposed to give it to me. I said I'll take it, but I haven't bothered going around his house to pick it up. It's just something he bought while he was out in Japan and he never uses it. It's the same friend that bought me a PSP when he went to Japan. Really nice guy, man. Really, really nice guy. I like linking up with him every so often, but he's got no gaming hardware. So when I go over there, like I took my MiSTer, and then it turned out that his TV was so laggy. It was like, oh man, it was horrible. Such a laggy TV, but he's not really a gamer anymore. Well, he is a gamer, but he only plays when I go around. So I'll take my laptop. We'll play Capcom versus SNK 2 on an emulator. That's a little bit laggy as well, but I'll take the MiSTer down there. But his TV was laggy, so we had to play on a monitor. So what I do now is I've got like a tiny 8-inch screen. I'll take that with me as well, and we play on that, man. But yeah, this is Pang, guys. Let's look at some more of Jotego's work, because I want to try and cover as many cores as we can. And you know, I think everything we've looked at is public so far, so nothing's in beta that you know you need particular access for. I think Parodius that we're running now is also a public core. But guys, you know, I strongly recommend supporting Jotego, because the way Jotego works is he employs people. He's got like a few, I think 2 full-time members of staff. And right, let's just go here. Right, so here's something good here. Let me just get out of this, right? So this is something really, really handy that I think is well worth knowing for everyone out there. So when I'm playing Parodius, what I like doing is I like one button for fire and the same button for missile. And I've showed this before, but not a lot of people know this. So we'll go through this now, and this might be handy to some of you guys. So I want the manual option. So I want to choose my own power-ups. But what I want to do is I only want to spam one button for shot, and I want the same button to be missile. But the arcade version of this has 3 buttons, so if you want to spam shot or missile, you need to mash 2 buttons, which I don't want to do. So when we do controls here, I'm just going to show you something. So when we go into controls, do your first controls, which is right, left, down, up. Right, so my power up is here, my shoot is here, and I'll choose this missile button here. Start coin. Okay, core credits I'm going to skip by pressing the space bar. Now, when it says here, do you want to set alternative controls? If we go to yes, right, now I'm going to skip everything. I'm going to skip right, left, down, up. Power up I'm going to skip. Shoot I'm going to skip. But when it comes to missile and bell, I'm going to press the shoot button again. So, and I'm going to skip everything else. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to go save. Now, what this has done is it has now made my shoot button the missile button as well. The 2 buttons are 1. It just means when I'm playing this now, I know some people may disagree with that, but I've played this on, or I've played some of the Konami games on consoles that only have 2 buttons, like let's say the NES or the Game Boy, and I just find it better to have 1 button that fires everything in your armory and 1 button for banking. You know, if you play the arcade version and you like spamming those 2 buttons, that's on you, but I want them together. So let's run that, and hopefully I can do a semi-decent job of it. Now, great thing about this is the characters that you can pick. I don't know who's top tier, but I'm really boring. I just really like Vic Viper because I'm a fan of the Nemesis, Gradius, Life Force games. Actually, a big shout out to Raki as well at RCA Victor, who's been working on bringing us Gradius and all that stuff. We don't want auto, we want manual. See, you've got 3 buttons that you need to use. So now I've actually turned this into a 2-button game, and that's really, really handy to know if you want to do stuff like that. So I need to spam the button. Sorry if you can hear my stick. So you want 1 speed. I'm usually okay with 1 speed. So now 1 button will fire both things for me. I missed that power up there. I mean, I'm a cheater. I'll even turn on auto fire. See, I don't have to. I'm only pressing 1 button now. If I didn't do that, I'd have to press a separate button for missiles. And, you know, I don't know about you guys. I find that very, very cumbersome. Okay, not fan of double, so let's go for laser. I mean, that might be better to kind of go for option first. Okay, I've got that. Okay, what does that color give me? Ooh, it made my ship big. Hey! Again, this is such a great game, guys. Such a great game. And the SNES version is fantastic of this, man. So I want option. Great soundtrack on this. I mean, this is just absolutely superb. And to be honest, I can't tell much of a difference between this version and the SNES version. I mean, I'm sure there's differences, but I feel like the SNES version was just such a great version of this game, and just really, really good version. However, there's one thing I really do find annoying about these games. It's you know, when you die and you go back. Oh, I hate this. So okay, no, that actually landed well there. So one thing I hate is when you lose a life and you go back. You know, if you've got, okay, that's gonna blur it. Okay, that's fixed. So previously, when that fire happened, it kind of broke. So Jotego's obviously worked on that and fixed that. So yeah, if you lose a life, you just end up with you know, normal shot. If you've got if you've got like double here now, like there, you'll only end up with speed, so you can use speed straight away. So yeah, man, it's definitely a little bit it kind of de-incentivizes you to continue playing, because you know, you could be at a very, very difficult part where there's a lot of stuff happening and you've just got your normal shot and nothing else. So it does make the game very, very difficult. So, you know, this is almost like when you lose your life, it's almost like you just want to think, okay, that's it. I can either one life this game, or if I die, that's kind of it. I mean, look at that. You get to shoot whoever the heck that is. Is it a penguin? Is it? I don't know what it is, but you're shooting it in its belly button, man, and it is superb. I have to say as well, shmups are easier on arcade sticks. They just feel more natural. And I'm not really a shmup player, but I do like them. And the MiSTer's something that really got me into those again. Okay. It's really interesting seeing people that are great at shmups. You know, the way they play, the patterns, and very good work of skill. But yeah, I know some people like double. I just always like laser. I feel like laser just cuts through everything. And I think once, there you go, I'm at max level now. Ooh, what? See, there's a balance now. Sometimes you want to grab the bell when it turns a certain color, but you end up getting greedy to get that color and you end up dying. So I don't want to die. Okay, let's get that color. There you go, that's gonna blow everything up. Right, see, this part here, when you die, with everything going on, it's very, you just want to give up. You're like, nah, you know what, I can't do it. Now, in instances like this, some of the characters you pick, they've got like a two-way missile. It goes up and down. That's kind of handy for this part, because you'll end up hitting a lot of stuff that's above you. I just want to do one life on this, guys. I don't usually last this long. I'm not that great, but you know, I don't mind going between a cheerleader's legs. I always make that joke. Wow, they didn't even kill those clowns and whatnot. Now imagine doing this part. Oh, I've got a shield. Nice, and I lost the shield. Okay, that was it. I got excited that I've got a shield. R-Type Leo, yeah, we're gonna do one on the Wicker Wacker stuff, definitely at some point. But for now, we're gonna look at Jotego stuff. But yeah. Yeah, R-Type Leo's fantastic, man. I absolutely love it. Never played it back in the day, never played it in the arcade. Maybe tried it on emulation, but I really started playing it when okay, we're gonna go back on. Oh, Alien Storm. This is a good game. This is on Sega System 18. So yeah, I really got into it. Oh, okay. This is really weird. Why are the call credits up? I've got the beta file on there. I don't know if this is an issue now. Okay. But here you go, that's the core credits. So why is this, unless, did I have an earlier version on here? I'm not quite sure. I've definitely got, or maybe I haven't actually. This is an old micro SD card. Maybe I haven't got that beta file on there. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to try something. I can get into my MiSTer over a network. Let's just see if I can. I know I downloaded the beta file, so bear with me, guys. I'm doing some stuff here in the background. Yep, I've got a JT beta zip here. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to remote into my my MiSTer, which I'm hoping it just works and it lets me in there. Yep, it's let me in there. Now the beta needs to go. If anyone's wondering, the beta file goes in games and then you go to MAME, and that's what I'm doing now in the background. You're not seeing it, but that is exactly what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the latest beta zip here, and hopefully, yep, I've got the prompt saying to replace it, and we're going to give this a reset and see if that actually works. If it doesn't work, then maybe there's some kind of issue with the core. So let me load it again. And hopefully we haven't got those credits up. So Sega System 18 still in beta. Oh, here we go. Yes, there you go, guys. Lesson to self. Update your beta file. I didn't update my beta file, but I did it while we done this stream. So that's really handy. That's one of the things that I like about going over a network on the MiSTer. There's a bug with setting up. Is it Samba? When you set that up, yeah, you kind of need to make an adjustment, but it's really handy because there you go. I didn't have the latest beta file on there. Now it's there. So guys, if you want access to Alien Storm, which is a game I played on the arcade and I played on the Mega Drive, it's a great game. It's like Golden Axe, but sci-fi. It's great. It's a lot of fun. This is currently in beta, so supporting Jotego over on Patreon will actually get you access to this, so you can help report bugs and you can be involved in the process, and at the same time, you know, you're doing your part for FPGA development. But again, by no way, it's not something that, you know, is required. Everyone's financial situation is different. I appreciate that. And but you know, if you're in a position where you can do it, then I definitely recommend it. Out of everyone in FPGA gaming that has a Patreon, honestly, you won't get better value than you will from Jotego, just with his core output. It's been quiet last couple of weeks actually, but I know he's got a couple of cores that he's looking forward to kind of rounding up the year with. You know, whether I know what they are or not, I won't be able to discuss anyway. But yeah, so it should be a good end to the year with his stuff, and you can get early access to the betas. So okay, so I just see a question there, Anime Otaku. So would I recommend I really like the Analog Pocket. I really like the screen filters on there, and I like the snappiness as well. However, I really like the Ampanic devices as well. Well, when I say the Ampanic devices, I had like one and I gave it to my friend and I thought that was decent as well. It was like a RG335 or something. After that, I bought the Arc S or Arc D, the Linux one, and I think that's really good. That's the one with the 6 face buttons. Now, I can't play Super Mario on that because I need a SNES style layout and I need a SNES style D-pad. But stuff like arcade games, like playing this on there or playing Mega Drive games on it, it's really good. Now, I really like the Mio Mini Plus. It's a little bit smaller, so it's a little bit more uncomfortable than the Analog Pocket. But I really do like the Analog Pocket, and maybe I'm not the best person to kind of give like my opinion on that, because I do have a strong bias towards it. I really do like the Analog Pocket. I'm heavily involved in the MiSTer and the Analog Pocket community as well, so I have a bias towards a lot of the stuff that I like. Like I'm a big MiSTer and Analog Pocket fanboy. Now with the Analog Pocket, I'll be the first to admit the D-pad's just not awesome. It's not a bad D-pad. A bad D-pad for me was like the ROG Ally. I don't get false diagonals on there. everything just works for me on there. But when I'm playing like Street Fighter and stuff, it's not as good as like the 8-bit D-pads. It's not like, for me, the ideal D-pad is the PS Vita D-pad. I really did like that D-pad. I thought they kind of nailed it with that one. I've used it for many things. So yeah, I mean, I like the Analog Pocket, and it's an FPGA device that's it's a handheld form. You can dock it. It's like the Switch FPGA handheld. Now, when Takioden releases a MiSTer, you know, when it's definitely planned and Taki's delivered on everything he's saying, so there's no reason to think it's not coming out, you know, then I'll probably reevaluate. I'll always like the Analog Pocket because it reminds me of like a modern Game Boy, and I like the DMG filter on there. I like that I can put in my old Tetris cart and just play it. So that will always have a special place for me. That will never ever go. But you know, I'd like to play Symphony of the Night on the PlayStation Core by the excellent developer Robert Pape. We'll definitely do a showcase of his work one day as well. And I like to play the PlayStation version, which for me is the best version. I like that version better than the Saturn version, and that's definitely because of the controller layout more than anything else as well. So yeah, but I think, you know, if you've got the money for it and you like that kind of stuff, the Analog Pocket, it is the ultimate Game Boy, man. Especially when it comes to like the DMG and the Game Boy Color stuff. And there's not a lot of stuff where you need to do a lot of tricky movements. So maybe I've been blessed with better Analog Pockets. I know some people complain about false diagonals. I never had that issue. Oh, man, you know what? Yep. So the PSP 1000, the D-pad was terrible. I remember getting the Darkstalkers collection or Clock Tower, whatever it was called. And I remember just almost crying. Like, it was almost better playing it on that little analog nub thing than the D-pad. It was terrible. But yeah, with the 2000, yeah, they nailed it. That was a good D-pad. 3000 was great. However, I definitely preferred the PS Vita D-pad. It just worked. Like, for me, a good way to judge a D-pad is, can I play Super Mario World on it without getting accidental false inputs? Can I play fighters on there and get all my moves right without getting moves out in accident? The PS Vita, I thought, was superb. I really liked that D-pad. So I like the GPD Win devices. They use like a cheaper version of the D-pad, the Vita D-pad. It's as almost as good as, but not quite as good as. By the way, a little bit of trivia here. See where it says "Welcome to Sega World." You can change that. So you can go into the dip switches. I can't remember how to do it now. Terminator 2K2 kind of put me onto that. So I changed that to say "Welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja," and I've used that as an intro before on the channel. So that was interesting. So, you know, if you've got an arcade machine or you want to set something up, you can probably troll your friend and put down, you know, let's say you've got a friend called Brad, and you can put down Brad is a dipshit, you know. So just something a little interesting there. You can change that kind of intro screen, and the reason for that was it was done so arcades could go, you know, let's say there was an arcade close to me on Holloway Road called Fairplay. You could change it to "Welcome to Fairplay" and kind of have the name of your arcade rolling inside the actual game. Right, let's run another game. I think while we're on, should we do it? Let's do while we're on here, let's see if we kind of see another game. Okay, I've got one in mind, so let's go straight to that. So Jotego's also done the Neo Geo Pocket and the Neo Geo Pocket Color Core, but he's best known for like his arcade releases, and that's where his heart is, and that's where he kind of excels. Oh, okay, even before we look at that, this is a great arcade game. Very good arcade game. It's a tough game to play, I have to say, but let's do it. Okay. So Rastan, again, this needs to be played on a CRT. It just looks so good. Again, banging soundtrack. Hopefully it's loud enough. Such a great, do you know, I really want a core for Rastan 2. I really like Rastan 2. I know it's a terrible game, and it gets to a certain point in the game where it's just terrible and it's full of like traps and yeah, just this horrible level design. But you know, the first couple of levels and playing it in the arcade, I really liked it in the arcade. And this game's tough as well, man. This is not an easy game. There's an Amiga version someone's working on that I think looks good as well. You know, the arcade version will always be the arcade version, but it's always nice seeing fan efforts on this, and this is this is a great game. This is a great game. It really, I remember playing this. So there's a friend of mine I always talk about, man. The guy's just gone on drugs, man. The guy was like a brother for me. Known him from the age of 1, you know, nursery days. Our mothers were friends, and yeah, he was good. When this game came out, he had money, man. He used to get money. He was the youngest one, where I'm the eldest one out of the siblings, and you know, his dad, he was out of 4 kids. He was the kid that was this father's kid. The other ones were from different fathers. So the dad always gave him money. You know, Irish guy. Yeah, so he was like, yeah, let's go up here. So it took me to Crouch End, which was about, I missed that. I wanted to get the fire sword, man. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, so it was about a mile, maybe a bit more from my house, and we walked in. There was a 7-Eleven there, and he told me about these Slurpees, and I tried the Slurpees for the first time, man. And he said you can kind of fill up by the machine and drink as much as you want, and bring it to the counter with a full cup. So, you know, being kids, we filled up with the slushies or the Slurpees. I think they're called Slurpees, and we filled up. We drank a bit of it, as much as we could out there, and brought it over to the counter, paid, and then that's the first time I saw Rastan there in the arcade, and I just fell in love with it, man. It just, at that time, it was just action. It was barbarian. It was killing lots and lots of different demons and monsters, man. It just absolutely smashed it for me. Yeah, I'd love to see that friend again, man. But you know, I get the feeling he's too far gone, man. You know, he won't meet with me because I'm a boring teetotal guy now and have been for 11+ years. So you know, he's the high life. So you know, he'll be high so all the time. So you know, last I heard, he was living out of a suitcase. You know, not knowing exactly where and what, which is just a shame. You know. But yeah, but you know, good times. He was the kind of guy that I remember when there's a chocolate bar called Twirl by Cadbury's. You know, when that was first released, the guy turned up at my house with a Twirl, saying, you know, and this is a time when no one gave anyone anything, and he was like, hey man, I got you a Twirl. And I was like, what's this? He goes, yeah, it's a new chocolate, man, try it. And I was like, wow, man, like, you know, what a nice guy. But yeah, that was Rastan. And again, all this stuff is special to me because of all the nostalgia that's attached to it. And I'm sure, like, guys, I'm gonna try. Yo, Ari, the retro gamers in the house as well. How you doing, man? Ryger's not Jotego, so we're not gonna run that. We're only gonna do Jotego cores today. So let's have a look if there's anything else. I know Renegade's Jotego core. It's not something, I'm not a big fan of Renegade. I know it's a loved game, but what we can do when we go to classic arcade games, let's go to Double Dragon, man. Double Dragon was banging. Now, if you haven't played Double Dragon, guys, you need to play this. The first time you play this, like the 2-player, if you play this 2 players and you complete this, be prepared to lose a friend. You know, in that age-old thing where, you know, if you haven't played Double Dragon, then you might want to close your ears for a bit, but everyone knows this. So if you don't know it, maybe just put the sound down for a bit. But that's the girl. She gets kidnapped, and as a young guy, that was the best panty shot ever, right? And to be honest, even as an old guy, I think that's a good panty shot. So what happened is, at the end, you had to fight one another to win the girl, man. It was so epic. There was nothing like it at the time. It was just superb. And the soundtrack is just epic. Like I get goosebumps hearing the soundtrack for Double Dragon. Oh, Concade Gaming, hey, how you doing, man? I was expecting to see you on Sunday morning. I'm hoping to do a stream Sunday morning, Concade, as well, because I should be, if a developer that I speak to regularly, I consider him a good friend actually. He's working on some stuff, so I might be sharing some work in progress stuff, but there's no pressure on him. If he doesn't get the work in progress stuff to a state where I can show it, then he's got plenty of other stuff out as well, and it's going to be for the Unlock Pocket. So I feel like I haven't given the Unlock Pocket enough love recently, but I hope to give it some love on the weekend. It's just there's been a lot more stuff happening on the MiSTer with stuff like the Jaguar. I still need to do a Mega Vision. We've got updates on the Saturn core, so there's been a lot of stuff happening. So this game here, if you guys are ready for story time, man, I can tell you a crazy story with this game, man. I got beats. Beats for that. Right, let's go. Again, love this soundtrack. I'll save this and I'm gonna go and play it on another controller. I'm gonna have to do my buttons again. So guys, if anyone's, if well, anyone in the UK, you had the coins. You had a 10 pence coin, and you had what's the elbow? So you had a 10 pence coin, which was a big coin. Then you had a 20 pence coin, which was a small coin. It was like a quarter of the size of a 10 pence coin. Now, what happened with so the 50 pence coin was very similar to the 10 pence coin, and I remember my mum sent me out to buy potatoes. Now there was change there, and I realized I could get the potatoes and put 20 pence in and have a go on Double Dragon on a chip shop on Blackstock Road near the Finsbury Park area of North London. So what happened was, whatever change I had, I meant to play Double Dragon. I meant to put in one 10 pence piece, and another 10 pence piece. So in total, 20 pence, 1 credit. Instead, I put in one 10 pence piece, and then I put in a 50 pence piece, which gave me 3 credits for the 50p plus halfway to another credit. When I realized that, I was like, no, I'm going to get beats from my mum. But then I thought, I'm going to enjoy Double Dragon before I go home anyway. My fate is sealed. So I had 3 credits on Double Dragon, and what I did after was I put another 10p in to get that 4th credit, because, you know, good value, like, you know, 10p, another 10p gets me another credit. And I had to turn up home without the potatoes, and I had to tell my mum. And I can't remember if that was one of the days my mum actually, like, beat me, and I deserved the beating, right? You know, there was times when I was a kid, and you know, I don't hit my kids. I've never hit my kids. We've not had that kind of relationship. But back when I was young, I'm telling you, there was things I did that I deserved to get hit. So I would have been like, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 when this happened, and I should have turned home with some potatoes, but I didn't. I played Double Dragon instead, and you know, we weren't well off or anything, and obviously my mum would be disappointed and whatnot. So yeah, I must have got a lick up or two. So that was my Double Dragon story, and used to play this a lot on the Atari ST as well. It was superb. Obviously I'm not very good at the game, as you can see. I can't just spam the elbow, but you know, why not do a bit of variety? So that was a Double Dragon. Yeah, that was a Double Dragon story, right? Okay, what else? There was something else as well, right? Okay, let's run with another game. I know that Chippy. Already the rated rocket, I think. Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. So what have we got there now? There used to be a shop there called It's a Knockout as well. So let's go to another game. Yeah, so sorry, that was a Double Dragon story, man. I got beats for just being an idiot, man. It wasn't a nice thing to do. You know, I spent the money. Oh, Dynamite Ducks, that's a good game. I'm pretty sure that's a Jotego game, if I'm not mistaken. How can we? Oh, it is a JT call, yeah, because you get JT in the menu. Wicked. Let's yeah, so that was bad on my part, man. That was that was Double Dragon, man. Like, you know, so yeah, you know, no magic beans, nothing like that. I spent money that was supposed to be for food for the family on arcade games, and it wasn't the first time I did that. I always mention my barber, who I have the utmost respect for, and I went to the same barbers later. It's actually years and years later, when I was in my maybe late 20s or even like early 30s, and his son was a barber there. So I spoke to him. I said, look, how's your dad doing? He said, my dad comes and helps out on like whatever Wednesday and Saturday. So I went specifically to get a haircut off his dad. Now, the reason I respected his dad so much, if a haircut was like £3 or £3.50, my mum used to give me the money. I used to go to the arcade next door and play like Ninja Turtles or something. So I always used to shortchange him for the haircut. And the guy looked pissed off, but he never snitched on me. And I've told this story before, but he never snitched on me. And I used to like poop my pants thinking he's going to tell my mum that I don't pay him the full amount. The guy never. He knew my mum was a single parent, you know, struggling to bring us up. So he never ever snitched on me. And he took like whatever it was, the 20p, the 30p, 50p that I underpaid him, saying, sorry, I've only got this much money. And the guy never ever, like, I respect this guy so much that honestly, when I saw him again, he almost made me silent. Like, I respect him so much, I couldn't even speak to the guy. So I mentioned to him, I said, look, Peter, you know, I remember as a kid, you're always good to me. You know, I always paid you less. So I made sure I paid him. I paid him like double the price for it. I think it was, haircut at that time was like £8. So every time I went for a haircut, I paid him like £20. And I said, look, I just want to make up for when I was younger. You were good to me. And he was a very, very good guy, man. And I just appreciate the fact that he didn't snitch, you know, to me or my mum, saying, you know, your son's a piece of crap. Every time he comes in for a haircut, he shortchanges me. So, you know, which I was always afraid he was going to do, but he never ever did it. So big props to the guy, man. Like the guy. And I think it was Turtles. It was Turtles I used to play a lot. They also had stuff like Final Blow in there. Superman the arcade game. Final Blow blows, man. That's a rubbish game. But I did play it a few times. Superman the arcade game. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm pretty sure that's going to come to FPGA gaming one day. Likely as a Jotego core. Again, I don't speak for Jotego and I do forget stuff sometimes. But I'm pretty sure I've seen reference to that being made. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. 10-pence piece from school in the arcade. Yeah, man. I used to put plastic. Okay, nah, I did a plastic didn't work. But Ori, do you remember? So on Blackstock Road, right? So we're that chip shop where we spoke about where I mentioned Double Dragon. If you went to Blackstock Road from there, so you're walking on Blackstock Road from Seven Sisters Road, and on your left-hand side, you had like a hardware store ran by like a Chinese family. It was known as, you know, the Chinese shop, we called it back then. And they used to sell this silver sticky foil, and it was quite cheap, but all the kids realized that if you put that silver sticky foil over a 10-pence piece and you covered the edges, so you covered one whole side of the coin and you covered the edges and you kind of like ran them against the wall, so it became like a five what is it called, a pentagonal shape, like a 50-pence piece. And if you put that, it turned the 10-pence into a 50-pence. So you got 5 times your money. So a pound now became £5, which was a decent amount of money. I actually got kicked out of Rowan's for using too many foiled 10-pence pieces, which registered as 50-pence pieces. So for the price of half a credit, you actually got yourself free credits, because it was free credits for 50p, generally speaking, in the arcade machines. So yeah, that was good times, man. I don't know if people had stuff like that around the world, but that Chinese hardware store, when they realized that this is what the kids were using for, because all of a sudden kids started going to that shop buying this particular line of sticky foil, one-sided sticky, the other side foil. They put the price up 5-fold as well. You know, before you could get like a massive amount for £1, then you could get like maybe a quarter of that for £1. They put the prices up as well. But we paid the prices because, you know, by spending £1 there, you could effectively turn another pound into, or another £2 into £10. So it was definitely value in what you got. And a big shout out to the Sega Master System version of this game as well. But we'll have a look at some other stuff from Jotego as well. And like I say, a lot of these cores, these are all public cores. I think the only core that's in beta at the moment is Sega System 18. And talking of Sega System, need to have a look at this game. This is a good game as well, man. Never played this a lot. Sorry, what is streaming? What is streaming? Is that, what's streaming? Is that, explain a little bit, Stat Matt. Sorry, I don't know what streaming is. Oh, Magic Sword. Yeah, we can do Magic Sword. I love that game in the arcade, man. And you know, here's, oh yeah, we can go Outrun. Hopefully that's kind of resolved now. That'll be nice. I know Outrun's had issues. So Concade Gaming. So I always mention why I love arcade games so much, and one of the main reasons was back when we were playing these games, back when you're playing like eSWAT, or in particular Magic Sword that you mentioned there, Concade Gaming. When you had the version on the SNES and then you saw the arcade version, man, like the arcade version was superior. The sprites, the animation, the way everything looked. And Street Fighter is a great example of that as well. You know, I remember just in the arcade watching Ryu walk back, the way he does that defensive stance, like leant back a little bit. You didn't have that on the Super Nintendo version of, you know, the CPS-1 Street Fighter. So, you know, all that stuff was just good. And the arcade was a big jump over what you had at home consoles. And it was sad, you know, when we got technology at home that became as good or even better than what was in the arcade. It was good in a sense, but it was also bad in a sense, where now technology at home is surpassing what's in the arcade, which gives people less incentive to go to the arcade. Now people go arcade for a retro kind of kick. Oh, by the way, while we're talking about arcades, I need to give Free Play City a plug, man. I like the guys. I like the guys. They're my local arcade, man, and in my opinion, the best arcade in London. You know, there's the Heart of Gaming, which is a bit further away, but they've got a lot of LCD screens in there as well. I actually prefer Free Play City a lot better than Heart of Gaming. You know, I've been both. I know the owners are both, but Free Play City is for me. So let's do. I want to do Magic Sword. Magic Sword. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Shinobi in that chippy. Oh okay. 1988 has. Okay. Cool. Right, okay, I don't remember seeing Shinobi there. I vividly remember Double Dragon there. But let's go Magic Sword, because Magic Sword is just wicked. Do you know what I think? When you've got low health in that game, it's got a very annoying sound. It's got a very, very annoying sound. This is it. There was a very good, so like for my mobile phone, when it comes to notification sounds, I've got like different gaming sounds. And I think Magic Sword will give you a good sound. So let's go. Again, it is so easy to do coins on, so easy to set your buttons on a MiSTer. And I have to say, like, and when I'm doing my buttons on something like MAME and RetroArch, like I do find it very cumbersome, and I find it annoying. I feel like RetroArch has become a little bit better over time, but it's still a little bit tricky getting your buttons on there at times. So wicked. Right, again, the volume might be a little bit loud. Hopefully not too loud. We're gonna go from the beginning now. I don't know who's the best on this day. So the MiSTer, oh, that might be a bit too loud actually. Let me just turn that down a tad. Yeah, man, I fell in love with this game when I saw this in the arcade. I have to say though, it does get a little bit. It does get a little bit boring. So the MiSTerFPGA, you know, Mr. Walrus, big shout out to Mr. Walrus. He kind of does the challenges on MiSTer where you can compete. You don't need a MiSTer to compete, by the way. You can use emulation, you can use arcade hardware. It's all about having fun. But on the MiSTer Discord, they do challenges for games, and they've done this, and I felt like this is one I should have entered. Not because I'm good at it, but it's just fun entering it. I entered Bubble Symphony once, and I temporarily got banned because I blatantly cheated with my score. But it was all supposed to be a joke, and then I got unbanned after. So what was great about this was using these keys to free these warriors. Now, I think there was like a clergyman that I liked, and there was a ninja as well that I like. Now, I don't know who the best one is. I can't remember. I asked Mr. Walrus because he was obviously trying to get a higher score on this particular game for the challenge, and he kind of spoke. I can't remember what he said, whether he preferred this guy once you leveled him up or something. So there's a treasure chest there. Again, like the first boss in this just looks really, really good. Character design fantastic, and I always say I want Capcom to bring back IPs like this, and not necessarily as just a side-scrolling action game. I'd love to. Sorry, I was looking at some stats over there. I'd love to see this come back as a Metroidvania. You know, it would be great to have that. Like they brought Strider back as a Metroidvania, as a modern Metroidvania, which I think, yeah, man, that was darn good, man. That Strider game on like, well, I've got it on Steam, but I've got it on PlayStation as well. I think that was it'd be nice to see that stuff. It'd be nice to see a lot of old genres, you know. So yeah, I'd love to see this as a Metroidvania, man. Even I think I'd end up buying it even if it was rubbish. You know, it's Magic Sword. Rastan would make another great Metroidvania. Just expand on that. And the reason I like Metroidvania so much, it gives us this side-scrolling 2D action. I'm talking about the side-scrolling Metroidvanias. So it gives us that action, the 2D action that we like, but then we've got a map, we've got an RPG system in there. It just kind of adds a lot more. It adds a lot more depth to it. Yo, we have got the Pixel. I wish if we fired out cherries, man. We could say, you know, we got Pixel Cherry Ninja here. I'll stick with this one for now. So let's go. You know what? Sorry, buddy. I'm not going to rescue you there. This noise here is annoying now. When your health's low. I love the animation for the stairs as well. That looks so cool, the way they run up the stairs, man. Okay, that is that. I think someone said Outrun, and I think I want to try Outrun because I think even Jotego said that this gave him a lot of trouble. And it might just be down to certain limitations that are presented with the MiSTer, but it was definitely something that gave him a lot of trouble. So LMNO Outrun. Okay, let's run with Outrun and hopefully it's good. What controller do you recommend? So Wayne, I mean it's subjective what controller you want. I'm playing because Jotego does mainly arcade games. I've brought out an arcade stick and it is so much more fun playing on an arcade stick. But you know, as a one trick, you know, for the Saturn core, I like using the M30. For general like PlayStation and Super Nintendo, I like using stuff like and the Ultimate USB-C by 8-bit though. I'm a big fan of 8-bit though controllers. When I can be bothered, I actually like plugging in original controllers as well. Now I know you can use them via Snack, but as much as I like Snack, I really like the Reflex Adapt. It works via USB. You can use any controller with any core. You can interact with all the menus and everything, and you only get 1 millisecond of input lag, which is, you know, 1 millisecond, 1,000th of a second. You know, break a second, 1 second into 1,000 units. It's got one of those, so it's humanly impossible to feel that. And I just feel the Reflex Adapt is a more versatile device. When I get a bit more time, I actually want to do a video on there, because you know, you can use stuff like original GameCube controllers with your PC or your MiSTer if you want. But for example, I could play Dolphin with an original GameCube controller by plugging it into a Reflex Adapt and plugging that Reflex Adapt into a PC. So really good stuff here. So let's see what the buttons are now. So that's brake. Okay, that's hopefully gears are automatic, because I don't know what the buttons are in this. Or maybe it's an auto. Okay, this seems to be running okay to me. I know there was issues with it, with a line coming in, and this is definitely something that that as a developer gave JT, let's just say, a headache, to be very nice. But you know, he conquered. He's a very good developer. He's got a good team around him, but you know, he got this. I love the soundtrack for this, man. Should turn it up a bit. Let me turn it up a bit. Sorry. Yeah, just at a good bit. Sorry, guys. I really like Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Like, I think that's just such a great. It's just such a great upgrade to this game. I actually prefer it to this one. I never played this in the arcade. I know people love this game. I never played it in the arcade, and I have to say it feels better playing this on an arcade stick than on a D-pad. You know, I'm sure wheel would be best, but yeah, it feels good. It feels good on an arcade stick. But yeah, Coast to Coast is my game, man. I like that game a lot more than this. But I never played this in the arcade. You know, I remember seeing this in, if Ori remembers, in a Trocadero. They actually had like a Ferrari mock-up. You sat in it. You sat in the Ferrari. It was expensive. It was like £2 a go back then, when normal arcade games were 50 pence. And like what else was it, like your very special games, the big featured arcade machines, they were £1. But yeah, this one was £2, so it was just like, no, I can't afford to play that. I'm sure it would have been a good experience playing it in a Ferrari, but yeah, I never got around to playing it. But I did have a look. Wow, okay, got about 15 minutes left, man. Still play 2006. Oh, but Ambernick, okay. Oh, on PS2, okay. Chris, does that run okay? Does that run okay on the Ambernick? Because last few times I tried it via emulation, it didn't work. It didn't work superbly for me, I have to say. Okay, yeah, it didn't work great for me. I know people like this game. Let's just run this for a bit of eye candy. Yo, Scandal in the house, man. Channel member. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you and the family are doing awesome, and I hope you're not working too hard and you're taking plenty of breaks. And before you ask, I am taking some breaks. Going back to Chris, so with the Ambernick, okay, because I played them on my Windows devices, like the GPD Win 4, the GPD Win Max 2, and I also like playing it on the Steam Deck. I've got it over to the Steam Deck. Okay, okay, cool. I was thinking about, I don't know, is it worth picking up? I know the Retroid 5 Pro's out. Sometimes I do like an Android device, only because they're very light, and it's just to play Symphony of the Night, the native Android port, which I think is quite a good port. But then I stopped myself from buying it because I'll end up buying it and not using it. You know, I've got the GPD Win 4, which is quite small, but it is a PC with an AMD 8840U in there, so it's quite it's quite a heavy, well, heavyish device for what it is. It's like a Vita, but just a lot fatter and heavier. But it's fine to play with. It's powerful. I do like it. But then, you know, I was like, I like the lightness of the Android devices, 1.5. I thought, okay, no, that's cool. Because back when I did try PlayStation stuff on Android devices, mind you, I haven't tried Outrun for a long time, but I found the racing games didn't perform as great as some of the other games. But yeah, even like I had like an Odin Lite, and that performed really well. 6 gig of RAM, Android. It done PlayStation stuff. Like I was playing Beautiful Joe on it, man, and it just felt flawlessly good. I can't believe how well it played. Do you know, one thing we haven't checked on Jotego's, and I'm a big fan of the stuff, is let's go. The reason that I got the MiSTer FPGA was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Let's run with this. There is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, right? Okay. Make sure I've got the button set. And this is the reason I got this game. So, sorry, I got the MiSTer FPGA. What made me, when I saw this around the friend's house, I was like, yeah, I need MiSTer in my life, you know. And that friend, he's still a very, very good friend. Yeah, he's still a very, very good friend. We speak a lot, you know. We speak a lot. In fact, we spoke earlier. I called him on my way back from work to the station, and he's the guy. So when I had a video game shop, I had a Street Fighter arcade machine. It had 5 buttons instead of 6. He came in and he played it. We got talking. We were playing Capcom versus SNK 2 at the back of the shop. He said, and he was actually the best person in Europe at the time at Capcom versus SNK 2. He said he plays the game. I was like, okay. I gave him a PlayStation 2 controller, which isn't the best version of the game, and I beat him on that. And he said he plays on an arcade stick, and I was like, yeah, whatever. He came back with an arcade stick and he destroyed me completely, like OCV'd me. His Sakura beat all 3 of my characters. So then I spoke to him and I said, dude, you're like really, really awesome. How does the, you know, how are you so good? Like, what do we do? And he explained, he told me about the professional circuit. He told me, look, there's all these players, and that's when it opened my eyes to competitive Street Fighter play. My Retroid Pocket 5. Oh, wicked. How much did you pay, Scandal UK? How much did it cost? All in all, because I was kind of tempted. And also, is it worth picking up a Retroid Pocket 4? I'm not looking to push it to its limit, you know, but I just like that they're very, very lightweight. Ooh. Ah, okay, we're doing okay. I bet we've got left try. Okay, wicked. Yeah, I'm thinking, because it's Black Friday, AliExpress, I think, delivered about £130 for a Retroid, is it Retroid Pocket 4 Pro or something? Okay, I can't play on this 8-bit throw stick. Ah man, I got chopped. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, the Odin 2 looks good, man. It looks good. It does look good. Yeah, I'm having difficulties doing dragons. Okay, that was embarrassing, guys. I'm getting out of Street Fighter. You know what? Let's go. Let me go. Sorry, wrong thing here. I want to go CPS 1. That's a bit easier. It's a bit slower. I'm gonna play. Let's go Champion Edition, actually. Oh, okay. On into with screen. Okay, wow. That's very, very good. 165 for. I don't think that's still available, is it? Was, you know, I'd kind of get that now. I'd be like, you know what, I deserve it. Probably won't play it. Probably sit in a box under my bed. But you know, that's a wicked price. Let's go. Oh, back in China again, later in Jan plan. Oh, wicked, man. Yeah. Hopefully you can pick. Hopefully they sell it in shops out there. Remember this, so CPS 1 sound effect are so much better than CPS 2. Okay, that feels a little bit better. I'm able to use the RP save pen. Oh, okay, cool. Yes, that's 165 for that is really good delivered, because I think when I got my Odin Lite, by the time I paid like VAT and delivery, it came up to like, it was like £240 or something, you know. Okay, right. Let's run something else. I like this 8-bit dough stick. I just find it too small for fighters. Hopefully my new stick that I'm getting for Pixel Memories, because I've worked with him on that, I've got more space kind of on the left, and yeah, kind of looking forward to that. So, let's have a look at. I wanted to have a look at. Okay, cool. I've only got one version on here. That's fine. That'll be the right one. And one more other SD cards. I've got an earlier version of Shadow Dancer where the Mega Drive chip in this wasn't actually done properly, so all the backgrounds and everything are all like garbled up. But we've got roughly about 10 minutes left of this stream before my wife destroys me. Okay, it's going on notch. They are okay, cool. So the thing is, are there any issues with the Retroid Pocket 5? I think did Russ say there was something with it that he's hoping gets resolved with the retail units or something? Was there like any controversy, or was there anything there? And also, yeah, if I can find a cheap Retroid Pocket 4, I wouldn't mind getting one. I don't mind like the look of that, but the Retroid Pocket 5 does look really good. And do you know what, the main thing I like about it is the weight. It's just very light to play. Oh, one thing as well, what's the kind of input latency like on it? Because I do find Android overall is inherently laggy when I'm playing stuff on there, because one of the reasons I got the Odin Lite was to film emulation footage on there. It was a 1080p screen, it captured it well. The aspect ratio was 16:9, so it's very easy to film stuff on there to use for YouTube. But yeah, I just felt like there was a lot of input latency, at least on the Odin Lite that I had. I'm really hoping with stuff like the Retroid, stuff is more snappy. Even using stuff like Run Ahead just didn't. There was just something. And when I play stuff on the Analog Pocket, I remember a video that I did for Ninja Spirit on the Game Boy, which is only out in Japan. I played that when I was playing it either at work or somewhere, and I was filming it, and I was doing terrible at the game. I was like, wow, I suck. And then I came home and I played it in bed on the Analog Pocket, and I nearly completed the game, and I was like, wow, like the lag was really bad. Odin 2 are wicked. Okay, cool. I mean, the Odin I had, so I think they had the Odin Lite and the Odin Pro, and when I looked at the difference, there was one had a Snapdragon, one didn't. And the only things it had issues on was if you wanted to do really high end, like maybe Switch emulation. And I wasn't interested in Switch emulation. I've got like, I think I had 6 Switches in the house. I gave one to my brother. Yeah, so I've still got like 5 Switches in the house. So I don't need Switch emulation. So I went with the Odin Lite because it was cheaper and it kind of did everything up until PS2 and GameCube that I really wanted to do. So yeah, that was interesting, but I really do like the Lite. I wish if I could get a handheld PC that was powerful, that was as light as one of the Android devices. I mean, that would be ideal, the ideal scenario. So let's give this a quick go, because I completely love this game, man. I prefer this to Shinobi, even though I feel Shinobi's a fantastic game that kind of kickstarted this ninja genre. This is actually a sequel, I think, according to Wikipedia, of the Shinobi game. So hopefully, I remember the early version, the buttons were like magic was, I think jump and attack were the wrong way around. I'm pretty sure it got corrected now. Yeah, it has been corrected. What a banger of a game, man. So this one here is currently in beta. So this will not be this is not a public call at this moment in time. So in order to have access to this, you would need to be a Patreon supporter. Now, I'm sure at some point in the nearish future, or maybe distant future, who knows, it will become a public release. It's inevitable it will become a public release, because all of Jotego's cores do get publicly released. And yeah, this will get a public release. But for now, if you want to do it, you can support the guy, and you can get access to Shadow Dancer instantly. And I have to say, I love this game. This for me is like one of the best arcade games like ever made. Steam Deck. Yeah, man, Steam Deck's awesome. Steam Deck's awesome, but The difference between the Steam Deck and the Android device is the Android device is just so darn light, man. They're just so down light and pocketable, and you know, they're good. They're good. They have their own merits. Steam Deck is awesome, man. I do like my GPD Win 4 as well. I like the ROG Ally. I thought the ROG Ally was a good machine, but the issue that I had with the ROG Ally, man, the D-pad was just dreadful. Yeah, sorry, the D-pad on the ROG Ally was bad, and to be honest, it's so bad, you think, after playing on the ROG Ally, you would wholeheartedly think that the Analog Pocket D-pad is the best D-pad you've ever used. Like, that's how bad the ROG Ally's D-pad is. It's terrible. And that was a great machine. I gave that to my brother and bought the GPD Win 4 specifically because it has a good D-pad. I mean, I'm not making as much content to do to my new job, but I would often... what I would often do is film emulation footage on like one of my handheld devices, you know, while at work or something. So when I want to do a video, I've got like the gameplay footage. Oh, I thought I got him there. Right, can I do this bonus stage? I'm going to try this bonus stage. I swear, I think I've only done this bonus stage like once or twice, even in the arcade. In the arcade, it was celebration time to do it. It's definitely more difficult than the Shinobi one. But guys, this game is just wicked. What a wicked game. I think Phil, a friend of mine, he streams as well. Phil, he completed this on stream, man. You can do it. You can persevere, learn the patterns and whatnot. Nope, can't do the damn bonus stage, man. Right, what do we do? Oh, guys, okay, let's kind of run. Okay, I'm just running that again to have a little bit of eye candy. So what we'll do before we kind of wrap it up, if we have a look at all our arcade games, right, you're just going to see so many by Jotego. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if that's Jotego there, I can't remember. Yeah, there's a lot of games. I think Alex Kidd is one of Jotego's ones. Alien Storm is. Alien Syndrome definitely is. Alien versus Predator definitely is. Aliens, ooh, Aliens. Let's run with that, man. Yeah, there's so many games, man. When you look at your cores, the arcade cores, you're gonna see that the vast majority of them are done by Jotego. So yeah, man. So you know what? Developer showcase, awesome work from Jotego. Awesome developer, really good guy as well, man. Every time I've spoken to him, very humble and just very respectful guy, man. And that goes a long way. You know, if you're a good person, I've got a lot of time for you, and I've got a lot of time for Jotego, man. Since, you know, starting, even when I was a very small channel, you know, we're talking like, you know, not even 1,000 subs. The guy was very cool. In any time I did engage or anything with him, you know, I never felt like it was, hey, you're too small, who the heck are you speaking to me? Always very nice. So, you know, got a lot of time for the guy, and I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big fan. I didn't pull the trigger for 3D. It was close. Okay, what's this? Hi, is there a list somewhere of all public? Yes, so you can find them. Sorry, I haven't got them handy, and I don't think, unless someone's a mod here, they can't post the link. But you can probably, if you just go into Google and put all Jotego cores, it'll take you to like a MiSTer. There's like I can't remember if it's a GitHub page or anything. It's easy to find, and it will go through all the cores that are available. And it's got a separate section for Jotego and all the cores that he's released. And this is one of them, man. This is something that was in the arcade. It was amazing in the arcade. You know, while we're on Alien, let's finish up with Alien versus Predator, because this is awesome. Right, okay. Before my wife goes, the kids are really happy because I'm streaming. They get to stay up late. I was like, look, cool. You know, you haven't got school tomorrow. You can stay up a bit late, but they do have to kind of be up a little bit earliest to come shopping with me. So, yeah, I better start making preparations for that. So, guys, I'm gonna kind of wrap it up here. Honestly, I could stream for another hour. I'd be super happy, but family duty's cool, man. I got my 2 boys, and they're happy to stay up, but they're going to be tired because they've been up. But fantastic game. Are we actually running? We're running Alien vs Predator, yeah? Yeah, we are. Cool. But yeah, that's it, guys. Be absolutely awesome to one another. Really good to have you here. Really do enjoy having you guys on the stream. I'm going to be working on a news video tomorrow morning, so expect that in the afternoon UK time sometime. If everything goes well, it will come out at 1 p.m. earliest. if I get left behind on stuff, then it will get released later on. You know, as soon as I finish it, it will just go live on YouTube. Then on Sunday, I intend to have another developer showcase live stream. I'm not going to say who the developer is yet, but I may have some work in progress calls coming up for the Analog Pocket. Because I felt like I like giving the MiSTer love and an Analog Pocket love. The MiSTer's just had a lot more love on the channel recently because there's been a lot of stuff coming out for the MiSTer. So hopefully, yeah, over the weekend I can get this other stream going as well. So yeah, that's it, guys. Yeah, wicked. Thanks, Alan, for dropping by. But dudes, everyone, thank you very much for dropping by and making my Friday evening after work entertaining. I'm usually tired, but I'm not that tired today. But that's it, guys. Be super awesome to one another, man. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.